You're listening to the Conscious Her podcast. Today, I'm going to be talking about the importance of grounding, what grounding means from a spiritual and metaphysical perspective, signs you're not grounded, and the 7 most effective ways to ground yourself as a highly sensitive soul. Finally, I include my best tips to help you integrate grounding into your everyday life. So, stay tuned. Hi, I'm Kimberly Morrow, and you're listening to the Conscious Her podcast. The Conscious Her is an accessible online platform and community of conscious women that are empaths, highly sensitive people, and intuitives who are both curious and passionate about spiritual and energetic self-development. As a professional psychic medium, spiritual guide and mentor, intuitive energy healer, and channel for over 5 years now, I dedicate my life to reconnecting energetically sensitive women to the divine within themselves so that they can live the most fulfilling, rewarding, and transformational life possible by remembering who they are and why they're here. If you're looking to learn how to leverage and apply your incredible energetic gifts in your personal and professional life and utilize your intuition and sensitivity as your personal superpowers, this podcast is for you. So let's dive into today's discussion right now. Hey, beautiful light being, and welcome to the Conscious Her podcast. Welcome to episode number 6. Today, I'm going to be covering 7 of the most effective ways to ground yourself as a highly sensitive soul. But before we get there, I want to mention, first of all, I'm sorry if you hear some chimes or some birds in the background. It's a very windy day in Vancouver, Canada, and we have this whole polar express wind moving through the province. So it's very loud, this wind. And another significant thing about today is that it is the Aquarius new moon, February 11th, 2021. And I was reading about the Aquarius new moon this morning, and I want to share with you a little bit more about that because I have brought up Aquarius and its influence on this podcast many times, but I thought this was really interesting. So on this exciting new moon, there is actually 6 celestial bodies in Aquarius. So the moon, the sun, Venus, Jupiter, Saturn, and Mercury retrograde. It's a very rare coming together of the planets, and it creates a highly concentrated energy, activating the Aquarius energy within each of us. So Aquarius comes from the perspective like no other. It's the way seer, it's the alternative thinker, and it's the visionary for the community. It's revolutionary, it's innovative and awakening. It's filled with opportunities and fresh perspectives. It's our reminder that change can only come from trusting ourselves so deeply that we are willing to step away from the current path. Even if at first it looks like you're going at it alone, you are creating new paths for the collective change to follow. And I cannot resonate enough with this whole theme around the Aquarius new moon. And I wanted to share that with you because I also know that the Aquarius new moon is a really, really magical time for you to set new intentions, to manifest, to call in whatever it is that you want in your life and to set on this new path. So I really wanted to share that with you because I think it really joins in well with the podcast. So just some little nuggets of information for you. So moving on to today's topic, grounding is something that I teach regularly to my students, to my mentees, and to my community as a fundamental practice in managing and protecting your energy as a highly sensitive soul. And it's something that I don't take lightly. I cannot emphasize enough how critical grounding really is. Grounding is not only important for every human being on the planet, but it's a daily necessity for highly sensitive souls and energetically sensitive people. There are so many reasons why grounding is required, but let's start out with discussing in detail what grounding actually is so that you understand it and actually start taking it seriously if you're not already. So grounding, in the most simple terms, is taking the time to reconnect, balance, and exchange your own spirit energy with the Earth's vibrational energy. As energetic beings, we need to actively manage, clean, and clear our energy fields every day, which is difficult to do because we don't see it every day. We can only kind of feel it and sense it. And it's not as easy to remember to be doing that on a daily basis, right? So we are composed of many different planes: our physical, our mental, our emotional, our sensory, and our spiritual. Each one of those planes has this consciousness and intelligence. Each one has to be maintained properly to flow with vibrance, health, and vitality, or it cannot function properly or to its potential. The practice of grounding allows us to do this effectively for every plane simultaneously through the physical aspect. Okay, so through our physical selves. Now, on a metaphysical level, here's another way of explaining this. The universe is made up of many different dimensions. As a conscious being, part of the universe, you are connected to all parts of the universe at all times. Your consciousness streams through all dimensions, but you can focus your consciousness in one dimension or another, which is called an aspect. When you ground yourself, you're fully connecting with the perspective of the physical dimensional aspect or the physical body. Your consciousness is an infinite current of energy, and it's very similar to electricity. To remove excess electric charge from an object, it is called grounding. To remove excess emotional or mental electric charge as a result of focusing too much energy into the emotional or mental aspects that have been lost in the non-physical dimensions of thought, is also called grounding. So you can ground for every aspect of yourself. When we make the conscious effort to put our focus back into the physical dimensional aspect, we can entrain our energy with the Earth's magnetic, energetic vibration through the root chakra. When we do this, we allow ourselves to be fully present back in the body as our physically incarnated selves or our human experience. We entrain and exchange energy with the earth to balance our system to the most optimal currents. One of the biggest challenges for highly sensitive souls is that they're more comfortable, or we're more comfortable with the astral realm and the spiritual realm, and it's difficult for us to maintain our balance with the human aspects, which are physical, mental, and emotional aspects. We're happier out of the body than in our body, so we tend to get lost in our thoughts a lot, very often. However, if we aren't able to ground ourselves daily and stay connected to our body and allow ourselves to shed that excess electric charge, we can run into a lot of problems that can have long-term effects, and they usually accumulate to some forms of physiological stress or stressors. And when we hold on to too much stress, that can physically manifest as disease and illness in the body, or even a injury as well. So what are some of the symptoms of being ungrounded? First of all, Feeling physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually drained. This also applies to your senses as well. So feeling overstimulated or overwhelmed or over-aroused in the sensory form as well. Being easily affected by what's going on around you, especially other people's energy or mood. So easily affected. So we're already energetically sensitive anyway. So this is like heightened to the extreme. You lack focus, you're irritable, you're scattered. You may be feeling spacey or lightheaded. Your head is in the clouds, or you're constantly daydreaming. It could be busyness or constant rushing without being present in the moment. It could be that you're clumsy, or you're constantly dropping things or running into things. It could be that you're catching yourself on autopilot. It could be unable to access the things or activities or hobbies that bring you joy. Being open and vulnerable to lower or unwanted energy and taking it on into your own energy field. It could be the feeling of your energy spinning, so like a dizzy feeling for an unknown reason. It could be little to no downtime or alone time. It could be feeling extra absorbent of the energy and emotions and moods and feelings of others and feeling them as if they're your own. Feeling queasy, nauseous, before or after meditations or healing or spiritual work. And that's just to name a few. That's not even all of them. So the more awareness that you have of your body, mind, and soul through the practice of mindfulness and awareness, the easier it becomes to identify when you're not grounded. If you're a highly sensitive soul, it's going to be even easier to notice when you're not grounded, since you're so sensitive to energy moving through and around you at all times. On the flip side of that, you'll be able to feel when you are grounded, and you get used to enjoying that feeling. So today, I've curated 7 of the most effective ways that you can ground and clear your energy that I want to share with you, and I've organized them in what I believe to be an order of effectiveness. So the first effective way that you can ground and clear your energy is, number 1, connect with the elements. The elements in Western culture are earth, water, fire, air, and sometimes you'll hear about the ethers or space as well. Because the elements represent earth, it's natural that we would connect with as much earth energy as possible to access and receive the earth's vibration. So you may want to ask yourself, how can I embrace the elements? How can I embrace nature or the great outdoors? And if I can't get outdoors, what elements can I access indoors? Spirit has said to me that water and air are 2 very powerful forces together to replenish your life force energy. You may have even heard of forest bathing or earthing as well. So connecting with the elements may look like going for a walk or run every day outside in the fresh air, and especially in nature, walking barefoot on the earth, sitting outside quietly in nature to practice your breath work, going swimming, outdoors or indoors, sitting around a campfire or an open fire pit, hugging a tree or sitting at the base of the tree or walking through the trees, looking and listening for wildlife like birds, for example, gardening, taking care of plants, maintaining a vegetable or herb garden, having an Epsom salt bath or a short standing meditation in the shower, walking, sitting, or resting next to a body of water to absorb all of those negative ions, opening up your windows to let the fresh air inside, going for a hot sauna or going to sit in a steam room, reading or doing something creative next to your fireplace if you're lucky enough to have one, exercise, get your sweat on, meditate or practice yoga outside, wear or diffuse essential oils, meditate with your crystals, play with your kids in the park, travel when and where possible. You see where I'm going with this, right? So connecting with the elements is the single most effective way to ground your energy because you're immersing yourself in Earth's aspects. Even just spending an entire day outside is enough to replenish you for days. Obviously, depending on the season and the hemisphere you're in will change how you're able to connect with the elements. But regardless, there's always a way to connect. I personally walk every afternoon for 40 minutes to an hour to connect with the earth, and I always have a quick standing shower meditation before I go to bed to connect with water. And that does wonders for me, especially because I am a water sign. Number 2, come back to the body. I cannot tell you how many times Spirit has recommended this for people, and this is especially for those who struggle with anxiety, with stress, with depression, or have mental health challenges. I mentioned earlier that many highly sensitive souls or energetically sensitive people are more comfortable in the spirit realm or in the astral realm and are easily lost in their thoughts or spend more of their focus in the mind. Because of this, we end up consistently channeling our energy outside of our body and into our minds, and we become very disconnected from our body and also from the present moment, the here and now. If the energy in your energetic field is not evenly balanced throughout and it is focused on the mind, then all of that energy lifts up and hovers in the upper chakras. And we can lift off out of our body and float around in the ethers. This is where you can be stuck in thought, overthinking, daydreaming, anxiety, so on and so forth. So try and imagine that if you're channeling all your focus and attention and energy into your mind and into your thought, all of the energy in your body kind of rises up and lifts up into the upper chakras, and then you're unbalanced in the body. One of the best ways to ground yourself is coming back to putting your focus in the body. So you may want to ask yourself, what makes me feel in my body? What really makes me feel human? How can I better listen to my body and what it is telling me? So what does it look like to come back to the body? It usually looks like getting a good sweat on through physical exercise, deep breathing into the different areas of the body, stretching and conscious movement of the body. Could even be dancing in your living room and listening to music. Kundalini yoga is very effective. Getting intimate with your partner, getting a massage, actively using the 5 senses, the 5 human senses, which are smell, taste, touch, hearing, and sight. Getting very present with your body's wants, needs, or desires, and actually listening to it. Making yourself a nutritious meal and slowly and consciously consuming it. Not scrolling through your phone while you're eating. Buying natural foods, products, and services that are healthy for you. And paying attention to how foods and products affect your body and how they make you feel. These are all activities that will help you stay present with yourself, move out of the mental planes, and avoid being lost in thought energy or daydreaming. And that brings your energy back down into your body so that it can connect with the earth. Remember that your body is very intelligent. It can tell you where the problems are that are existing on the emotional and mental planes. When your body acts out of the norm, when you get an illness or ailment, or when you injure yourself, your body is talking to you and trying to tell you something. If you're not listening to your body and responding, you may suffer unnecessarily. On that note, I also want to add the suggestion of what I call going natural. I almost made this into its own category, but I do feel it fits in with coming back to the body because it implies taking a much greater effort to know your body, to listen to your body, and to actually respect your body. Going natural means that you allow yourself to avoid food, products, and other services that are harmful to your body and also to the earth. This includes, first of all, avoiding electromagnetic frequency, EMF waves, which come from electronics and electronic devices like your phone, like your computer. It includes avoiding food full of preservatives, pesticides, chemicals, GMOs, artificial colors and flavors, harmful ingredients. It includes avoiding hygienic or personal care products that caused harm to animals in their production or that have the ability to harm you, like sulfates, mineral oil, parabens, alcohols, synthetic fragrances, silicones, sodium lauryl sulfates, aluminum. The list goes on and on. Basically, you're making choices, modifications, and better or more informed decisions about what you're putting both in and on your body to support your overall health and well-being when you are going natural. As a result, you're not buying products that harm or pollute the earth or yourself, and you rebuild a connection with the earth through your body. You don't just mindlessly consume. You think before you purchase and you consciously make better choices for yourself. Your body is another way of how you identify with yourself and your life here on the earth plane. So the more time you spend in it and learning to work with it, the more likely you are to stay grounded, healthy, and well. And then we have number 3, which is breathing into the root chakra. When I say breathing through the root chakra, I'm primarily referring to the combination of breath work, visualization, and working with our chakras. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the root chakra, but I'm not going to get into detail about the chakra system today because that is a whole episode and more in itself. It's very detailed. So if you have time and you want to look it up, go through and get a brief overview about what the chakras are. Our root chakra represents the color red, and it is at the base of our tailbone between our legs at the pelvic floor, and it's usually our connection or doorway from the earth's healing energy to our own energy field. It anchors us to the solidity of the earth, allowing us to feel safe, stable, and secure, as well as in our body. The root chakra is like our primal source for creating a firm foundation and is all about survival. It essentially ensures our most basic needs are met. This includes both our physical needs like food and water and shelter, as well as our psychological ones, such as inner sense of safety and trust in the world. So I always compare it to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And if you were to think about the chakras as representing the different levels of that triangle, it would be the very bottom. It would be the base of the triangle. When the root chakra is aligned, open, and vibrant, we feel safe, we feel secure, we feel strong, and best of all, we feel grounded. We have faith in the universe and we feel provided for, knowing that our most essential needs are taken care of and fulfilled. A balanced root chakra is essential not only to our survival, but to personal growth. When the root chakra is properly balanced, it really nourishes the courage and assurance necessary to embrace change, take on new challenges, and explore the world. When we practice breathing into the root chakra, we allow ourselves to channel energy there to clear, regulate, and release energy that is stagnant or not flowing as strongly as it could be. So breathing into the root chakra can look like regulated or intentional breath work, listening to a guided grounding visualization, a self-guided grounding visualization involving nature, stretching or conscious movement through yoga to open the root chakra, quietly sitting in nature and using your breath to connect with the earth, or quietly sitting on the ground or in a chair, feeling, sensing, and visualizing the opening of your root chakra to connect with the earth. There's endless ways to breathe and meditate and visualize your root chakra opening and connecting with the earth. All of these activities can be as short or as long as you'd like them to be. In as little as 5 minutes, you can change the flow of energy at your root chakra through breath work and visualization. I believe that all highly sensitive souls should have at least one go-to meditation, breathwork, or visualization that they do together every single day. Whenever I am using life force energy to clear at the chakras or even in my own energy field, I always visualize that I am breathing in this beautiful healing white light energy from source to assist in this exercise, and I find it works really well. I actually learned this through my Reiki master instructor, and it's just stuck with me ever since, so I always recommend this. I also find this particular one to be the most effective way at clearing your energy, specifically before you do any type of spiritual healing work, as well as before you attempt to connect with your spirit team or any other forms of higher consciousness. I always get amazing results from using this technique. So this includes if you're going to receive spiritual healing work or if you're going to initiate spiritual healing work for someone else, including yourself. And that brings me to number 4, which is slow down and rest. If you find yourself constantly busy, on the go, and stuck in a chaotic lifestyle, you're eventually going to burn out. When you do this, you're putting way too much pressure on every aspect of yourself while ignoring your spiritual aspect. You're disrespecting all of the aspects of yourself, your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual aspects. In order to ground yourself properly, you need to be doing something that invites you to move at a slower pace. You cannot heal your body, connect to your spirituality or to spirit, replenish yourself, or absorb and integrate new energy into your cells when you're not resting. As a highly sensitive soul, resting is absolutely critical for you. We are not meant to be pushing ourselves in go, go, go mode all of the time. It's not sustainable, and over time your body will protest and it will manifest into physical illness, disease, and other issues, even injuries. I've been down that road way too many times and almost lost my life because of it. Slowing down and resting can look like getting enough sleep every night by setting a bedtime, taking a nap during the day when or if you can, having a night in versus going out with friends, hiring someone to help you with duties around your home, taking a couple of days off work, doing absolutely nothing all day, having lazy or quiet days with your kids, asking for help so that you can take a break, scheduling an appointment to pamper yourself, giving yourself alone time, and of course, meditation or even breath work. We all have periods of ebb and flow in our lives. You're not meant to be at full speed, running on all 4 cylinders all the time. As a highly sensitive soul, you're already processing, filtering, and managing energy around you all the time, both in the human realm and in the spirit or astral realms. And that in itself is tiring enough without proper maintenance and care. Give yourself the time to take it easy, to rest, to recoup and regenerate yourself. When your battery is low, you're not helpful or useful to anyone, and you can't put anyone ahead of yourself when you have nothing left to give. I highly suggest getting into the habit of making sure your tank is always full before you prioritize anyone else. Make sure that your cup is always full first. I know this is hard for a lot of highly sensitive souls because we're always focused on other people before ourselves, and that's something we all tend to learn the hard way. So do yourself a favor and slow down and rest way more often than you are. And that ties in very nicely with our next way, which is number 5, give yourself alone time. As a highly sensitive soul, you truly need the space. You need the alone time, you need the time to yourself, and you need time away in whichever form that comes in to ground yourself and to take a break from the constant bombardments of energies that you feel around you. And this alone time needs to be in a peaceful and safe environment. Regardless of whether you're introverted or extroverted, all highly sensitive souls need time out, because if not, we can become overstimulated, over-aroused, and overwhelmed with the energy around us. Energies can gather or build up in our auric fields easily and weigh us down. Without alone time to ground ourselves daily, this will become troublesome and start affecting our physical and mental health. We need the space and time to process, to filter, and clear the energies we're dealing with regularly. Otherwise, we will break down, we'll get sick, or even will lash out. Alone time in a peaceful and safe environment is a refuge for highly sensitive souls that needs to be respected. Giving yourself alone time is self-explanatory, but it may look like, for example, going for a walk, run, or hike by yourself, spending time in your own sacred space, journaling or reading alone in your room, running an errand, or going to a relaxing appointment for yourself, sitting quietly in bed in the morning or in the evening to journal or meditate, stretching or practicing yoga in your home, eating a meal by yourself, sitting in nature by yourself and immersing yourself in it, or doing an activity or engaging in a hobby by yourself. With a natural tendency to focus on others, care for others, and give to others far more than to ourselves, actually giving yourself alone time is not only natural and feels like an enormous relief, it also gives yourself the time to focus on yourself. When you have the time to focus on just yourself, you also have the time to process, clear, and release the extra energies moving through you or around you. And then we have number 6, get creative and play. Many highly sensitive souls are naturally beautiful creators of all kinds, and it's important for them to engage in activities that allow them to express themselves and their creativity, whichever outlet that may be. Chances are as a kid, you had many interests or hobbies that related to some sort of creativity that you have since forgotten or even diminished. But as highly sensitive souls, this is something that needs to be nourished for you to feel happy and fulfilled. And I'm not saying this is everyone, but for most highly sensitive souls, this is the case. Also, the ability to play and connect with your inner child is also critically important to your well-being. If you have kids of any age, this will really help you to get into this state of being and to help you let loose, have fun, and get goofy. Getting creative allows you to tap into source consciousness and channel that beautiful energy through you into whatever it is that you love to do through being in the body. Expressing your creativity allows you to release blockages of the energy being focused into the mental planes and upper chakras by channeling energy down through the crown chakra. Highly sensitive souls are creative beings who just need to express themselves. So getting creative and playing might look like, for example, playing sports and games with your kids, pursuing a creative project around the home, getting back into a hobby that you enjoyed as a child or young adult that you haven't done in years, taking a crafting or artistic class with friends or with your kids, playing in the park with your dog or with your pets, playing board games with your friends, laughing your heart out and getting goofy, building something with a spouse, writing or knitting or painting or sketching or making jewelry, playing an instrument. I mean, the list goes on and on. By expressing your creativity and by playing, you significantly raise your vibration. And part of this is because you are naturally stepping into your authentic self with these two activities. You are returning to a part of you that often gets squashed and less prioritized as an adult. When you finally tap into it, it feels amazing and liberating, and you can release a lot of heavy excess energies from your energy field this way. And finally, we have number 7, which is spend time with animals. If you're fortunate enough to have a pet or you have friends or family with a pet, allow yourself to schedule some time out of your day or on the weekend to spend time with them. Getting out in nature to be surrounded by wildlife and immersed in wildlife where you can sense and hear them is effective in itself, but really being up close and personal with an animal, as long as it's safe, of course, can really bring you back down to earth and really bring you back into your body very quickly. Animals are highly effective at reconnecting you quickly back to the earth's vibration. Highly sensitive souls are particularly drawn to animals, and many of us are aware that our pets are also healers. As someone who is trained and certified in animal Reiki with the Canadian Reiki Association, I understand the energetic dynamics between a human and their pet and how our pets can assist us in such a therapeutic way to clear and release energy and help to raise our vibrations. There's numerous benefits to owning and having a pet if you're able to do that. Chances are that if you're lucky enough to have a pet, you'd probably have experience with that pet being able to help you out of your darker or just lowest times in your life. They really are our little angels who have been assigned to us. There's also a good chance you feel like you couldn't live without them, and it's like that for a reason. And by the way, here's a quick tip that I learned in my animal Reiki certification. If your pet or the animal turns his or her bum towards you and stands in front of you with his or her bum closest to you, it's his or her way of signaling that you need to ground yourself. So how cool is that? Spending time with animals might look like, for example, taking your dog out for a walk in nature, just the two of you, and avoid going on your phone the whole time. Lounging around the house with your cat, watching a movie and cuddling with your cat. Playing with your pets for 20 to 40 minutes every day. Immersing yourself in nature through camping, hiking, and exploring. Visiting an animal refuge or a sanctuary where you can interact with the animals. Visiting a petting zoo with your kids, going horseback riding is an amazing one, taking a friend or family's pet for the weekend or for the day to take care of them, like pet sitting for others while their owners are away, or even teaching your pet a new trick. Remember, your pets virtually live for you. You are their entire world, and they truly love and care about you and believe you to be part of their pack. Make sure you're spending time with them and let their powerful healing and loving energy move through you. Sense and feel their consciousness as a mirror to your own. So now that we've covered the 7 effective ways to ground your energy as a highly sensitive soul, I want to provide you with a few quick tips that you can take away from this episode to help you integrate grounding into your everyday life. Number 1 is, based on the 7 main suggestions that I've gone over here, brainstorm or take note of the different ways that you can practice grounding yourself every single day. Number 2 is identify the grounding techniques that resonate the most with you or that make the most sense for you and your life. So whether or not you have kids, whether or not you have pets, whether or not you have a demanding job and what the hours are like, it will depend on all of these things. Number 3 is adopt these techniques into a daily ritual, routine, or habit, and commit to grounding as a form of self-care for your highly sensitive soul. I always recommend taking 1 or 2 of these grounding techniques or habits and try and integrate one in each part of the day. So early morning, mid-morning, afternoon, and early evening or nighttime. So if you can break down the day into sections, try and include 1 or 2 grounding techniques if you can throughout the day. And then number 4, prioritize grounding as a basic self-care regimen that is just non-negotiable. In other words, prioritize your grounding as much as you prioritize your daily physical hygiene, like brushing your teeth or washing your hands or taking a shower. If you have kids, include them in this with you in your self-care regimen and teach them the importance of grounding with the earth's vibration. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode and that you've learned something today and that you're able to begin to integrate grounding into your everyday life and really take it seriously as a highly sensitive soul. I see so many highly sensitive souls and energetically sensitive people completely ignore this grounding practice, and it really affects them. So please do start taking it seriously. Please do connect with me over on Instagram. My handle is @theconsciousher, which is all one word, and let me know what your favorite way is to ground your energy and any other techniques that I may have missed here. That's all for today. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great day and happy grounding. Take care. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode and for listening to the Conscious Her podcast. I'm absolutely thrilled you're here and a part of our community. If you enjoyed today's episode, please make sure you subscribe and share it on your social media channels with your spiritual soul sisters, friends, family, and network. Chances are, if this resonated with you, it will for them too. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, I'm here to help. You can email me at hello@theconsciousher.com, and I may even use your question or topic of discussion for a future podcast episode. If you want daily support for your highly sensitive soul, please visit me over on Instagram @theconsciousher. If you're interested in working with me, visit www.theconsciousher.com and be sure to subscribe to my mailing list. Finally, I do have a personal request. I believe that our purpose here is to heal ourselves and to serve others, and together you and I can help more people. If you would please leave a positive review for this podcast on iTunes, I'd be so eternally grateful for your support. Thank you and have a great day.